Rananim Kumusta, and hello, welcome back to another episode of Grace Daily. And apparently, if you're paying very close attention, a slightly new location. Recording outside in Chuk, you just never know when rain might come. So, rain came, and then the tree was dripping on me afterwards, so I had to move locations. So here we are. But welcome back. Glad to have you here with us today as we dive into our text. Remember, this week we will be looking at on Sunday Philippians chapter 2 verses 19 through 30. That's 19 to the end of the chapter. So I would encourage you to be reading that, meditating on it, praying about it, and ready to learn. But for today, we're looking at Philippians chapter 2 verses 23 and 24. It says this, "Him therefore I hope to send presently, so soon as I shall see how it will go with me. But I trust the Lord that I also myself shall come shortly." I always get a laugh out of Chuki's goodbyes. They're just so factual, right? I guess in English we have the same thing, like "see you later," something like that. But for me, it's just hearing it in a different language kind of makes me laugh, right? "Kerera, you're gonna go. Kerenam, you're gonna stay. Swap chu, maybe we're gonna meet again." And yet we always say the last one with such confidence, right? Because whenever I've even gotten into the habit, whenever we hear "Swap chu," there's always this hearty "oi" at the end of it, right? Somebody says "oi," you're like, yeah, that's right. So Paul is in a dilemma, right? He's sitting in jail. He's probably under a house arrest in Rome while he's writing to his beloved Philippian friends. So not only was he in Rome and in jail, but the reason he was there was in order to meet Caesar. So it didn't look too promising, meeting with the head of the state that was against you. So Paul speaks with a great air of confidence anyway, and he says that he pathos, that the Lord will let him go to the Philippian church soon. Or in other words, he had confidence that this is what would be. So this word, patho, is the same word that he used back in chapter 1, verse 25, when he says that he was confident that he would stay on earth rather than go to heaven at that time. So the Bible doesn't say that Paul had special insight or that he had a vision or anything of that nature. He just had confidence in his God. Now, let me be very clear about something. I want to touch on something here. There's a very dangerous trend that's happening right now called manifesting. Maybe you've heard of it, and if so, pay attention. If you haven't heard of it, great, I'm sure you very well may sometime soon. So, according to Oprah Daily, because I know Oprah's really into this thing, according to Oprah Daily, essentially this is what they quote. Manifestation is this, quote, "Manifestation is bringing something tangible, okay, something we can touch, see, taste, feel, into your life through attraction and belief, i.e., if you think it, and it will come." So then once you visualize, then they say this is the process of manifestation, right? Once you visualize exactly what you want, then you think about it, you visualize it, and then you, quote, "ask the universe for it." That's not what Paul is doing here. This manifestation that people are into, it's really all about what they want, how they're going to become richer, wealthier, healthier, wiser, whatever. It's not a Christian thing at all. And it's not something that Christians need to be doing. But this also is not what Paul was doing. He wasn't manifesting something to him, saying, "Oh, if I really think about it and ask the universe, if I just trust God, that this is going to happen." Paul wasn't envisioning himself free on a beach somewhere, drinking a margarita and catching a tan, right? He was not thinking of himself living in some Philippian villa with money, comfort, and grapes being put into your mouth, and all sorts of fluffy happiness. No, Paul was placing trust and confidence in the God of the universe, that should it be God's will, he would be released to go and serve the Philippians. And we already know that Paul's thoughts on life were this, quote, to me, To live is Christ, and to die is gain. So let's get very personal for a minute here. I think that I can confidently say that we've all had hard times or times where we've trusted in God for something, and then God just kind of seems to let us down, right? And Paul thought that God would take out the thorn in his flesh, but he never did. And maybe God could have saved Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego like a little bit sooner than the moment they were being cast into the furnace, right? And I'm not trying to let God off the hook here. There's no hook that God is on. But I can't really explain his omnipotence and his sovereign will either. But I can look at the example of Paul. If we back up to verse 23, in plain English, he basically says, as soon as I find out what's going to happen with me, I'm going to try to come and see you. And he didn't know. We can't know either, but we can know that our confidence in God can be sure whether he does or doesn't do what we want. In the Bible, we don't know exactly what happened to Paul after he wrote Philippians, but history, tradition, also tells us that he was released. But then 2 years later, he was killed by the same Caesar that let him go. I don't claim to have all of the answers for myself. And I'm not telling you to just blindly trust God, and if your wish is granted, then you've asked the right wish. And if your wish isn't granted, then it's not God's will, so you should ask something different. Paul's confidence wasn't in the fact that God would bend to his wishes. His confidence was in the Lord. Period. And so where's your confidence today? I know this is kind of a hard topic to hit on because we've all had things that we prayed about, all had things that we really thought God was going to do, and then it kind of seems like it fell through. But the question is our confidence in God only if he does what we want? Or is our confidence in God that what he does is best? So let it be in the Lord who works all things to his glory and for our good. Grace and peace, my friends.